What's up, bros? This is Matt, aka Lloyd Milligan, and I'm bringing you episode 2 of my Dayz tips and tricks for beginners. And again, this series is for the Arma 2 mod called Dayz. The first episode was dealing with zombies. That episode may be updated soon because I've heard that the zombie behavior is about to change drastically. But this episode is about probably the next most important thing, which is managing inventory and how to interact with all the stuff that you find in the game. And as you can imagine, that's an important part of this game, and it's also one of the most, I think, difficult to pick up. Surprisingly, dealing with inventory is one of the most difficult things to pick up when you first start playing this game. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to mention is the contextual menu, which you can access by moving your scroll wheel up and down. The game lets you know there's something that can be interacted with by popping up a green writing on your screen, or sometimes it's a gun if you're picking stuff up from a person. So whenever you see that, move your mouse wheel up and down to see what the possible actions are. Now, to pick something up, you can select that option from the menu. However, if your inventory is full, you might drop something, and you might drop something valuable, and it sometimes is not able to be picked back up. So what I recommend is selecting gear from the contextual menu, and you can also hit the G button while looking at loot to have the same effect. Let's pause and take a closer look at the inventory. The list on the left side of the inventory screen is a list of all of the items that are in your inventory, as well as all of the items that are in the pile of loot that you're looking at. Now, the inventory behaves a little bit differently whether or not you're looking at a pile of loot. I'm going to explain that further when I talk about the backpacks. But for now, you just know if there's a number on the right side of the item, it means it's in your inventory in that number. And if it's on the left side, that means that it is in the pile of loot. So let's move on. Now, the area on the bottom right and top right of your inventory, this represents what I call the non-consumable section. In other words, when you use these items, they do not get used up. I think a exhaustive list of these items are the matches, the axe, the hunting knife, the watch, the compass, the map. I think the GPS is in this section, the binoculars, and the night vision goggles. Someone said there's a rangefinder. I've never seen one, but anyways, I think that probably goes in that section too. So anytime you find one of these items, you don't have to clear a spot in your regular inventory. So that is nice to know. Now, the section next to your sidearm, the sidearm and the primary, by the way, those are set slots. So if you pick the first time you find a primary weapon, it will automatically go into the slot where you see that DMR highlighted. And if you ever need to switch out your sidearm, it will go in the slot where you see that revolver there. But the area next to the revolver, that is where you carry your sidearm ammo as well as your bandages. And I think those are the only two items that go there, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, so anytime you find those items, bandages obviously are used to stop your bleeding if you're bleeding. But yeah, anytime you need to pick up those items, you need to make sure there's room there or put it in your backpack. And the last section on the right is basically for everything else. Your primary weapon ammo, your food, your water, your medicine, anything else you find for the most part is going to go in this section. So that about covers your active inventory. Alright, now I'm going to show you how to pick stuff up and how to use your backpack. So over here we have a pile of a couple piles of flares, and oh, by the way, if you're having trouble picking something up, like it's not giving you the option to go to your gear menu when you look at something, try laying prone and looking at the item. So that can sometimes I don't know, trigger it to work. So anyways, so I will use my I'll look at the item I want to pick up, and I'll use my scroll wheel to go to the gear and select gear. Brings up your menu, and so these are all the items I have on the right, and here are the two road flares. Now you can see I currently have 2 empty spaces. So when you have empty spaces, all you have to do is highlight the item, and hit the right arrow, and as you can see, that was one. Now there's one on the ground and one in my inventory, and then I hit right again, and now I have both in my inventory. So let's say that my inventory was full and I wanted to drop this can of beans in order to pick up the road flares. I would just choose the can of beans, and then I hit the left arrow, and as you can see, it dropped it. You can also hit drop, and then I would select the road flares and move them over. So be careful. I've noticed sometimes when you drop things, it's hard to pick them back up, so make sure you really want to get rid of it when you do it, but that is how you do that. So let's move on to using the backpack. Now I'm at the bottom of this castle, and it's raining like a bitch here for some reason inside the castle. And I found this little pile of loot down here, and so I want to see what's in it. I will scroll down until I get gear and select that. Now we have a 45 some 45 ammo, which is the sidearm that I have. We have a bandage, tin can, Makarov mag, soda can, and a watch. Now I already have a watch, and it won't let you put two in the non-consumable section, but if I ever join up with a friend, I'd like to be able to offer him that watch. So I want to empty a space in my backpack. So how you do that is you go to your backpack and hit open bag. Now when you're looking at a pile of loot, this is how the open bag will work. It will show you the contents of your bag, and it will still have the items on your bag are going to be in the right column, and the items in the loot pile are going to be in the left column. And as you can see, that M1911 that takes up a lot of slots. I was saving that in case I ran into one of my buddies also. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the bandage. You saw I had 3 bandages. I'm going to get rid of this one, and how I'm going to do that, I can drop it, or I can just hit this left arrow, and that opens up a slot there. And now I'm going to take that watch by selecting the watch, and I can hit take, or I can just push it to the right here. And then now I want to close my bag, and this 45 ammo, I might want that at some point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select another bandage. I think 2 is enough bandages, so I'm going to drop one of those bandages, and then I'm going to pick up this 45 ammo by selecting it and hitting take. Okay, now that I've gotten to a little bit safer location, I wanted to show you guys how to deal with your backpack while not looking at a pile of loot. It behaves a little bit differently. So you hit G to access the menu, and so now if I hit open bag, if I go down and select open bag, you'll see it kind of treats your bag as a loot pile. So all of the items that were in my bag, you see, are now numbers on the left side, and all of the items that I have other than that are on the right side like normal. So it's kind of treats your bag as a loot pile. And the thing you really need to be concerned about, I know I don't have any space in my bag. There's 0 of 8 spots are free. So right now, if I want to I guess drop one of the items, it is going to delete it. So you know, if I hit this left arrow right now, there's no room in my backpack, and this left column represents my backpack right now, so it can't put something in there. So I think it just gets rid of it. So when moving stuff between your backpack and your active inventory, that's the main thing you need to be concerned about, that you have space to do so. So I'm going to show you how it works. If I hit this left arrow, it just goes to 1, nothing happens here, and I'm going to close my bag, I'm going to close my inventory, and there's no flares. So that's the main thing. That's the main time I think people lose items, is when transferring stuff back and forth. So be wary of that for sure. And But if I do want to move stuff back and forth, now I have a little space, I can do it. So let's go ahead and open my bag. And again, the items on the left represent the items in my bag, and the numbers on the right represent the items that are in my active inventory. So I want to move this soda can from my bag to my active inventory, and I have to do so if I want to use it. So it's good to know how to do that. I hit the right arrow, and there it is. I want to move the can of beans. There's now a space available, so I hit left and it fills up that space. So yeah, that is how you transfer stuff back and forth. And it's also important to know other people, you can only take stuff from their bags. Like your friends and stuff, they need to put stuff in their bags if they want you to have it. And I think that is about it for this episode, guys. It's pretty long, pretty complicated, I know. But thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Next episode, we're going to talk about dealing with players finally. It's a little bit more complicated, but hopefully it'll be a good episode. All right, peace, guys.